Test. Did I tell you a story about when I was at 590 and I would have to record the strip club commercials?
No.
And
Working. This is going over the stream.
This is going over the stream. Hi, guys.
Whoa, hello.
Is that this?
Might be whatever speaker that is.
Can they hear us?
Yeah, they can all hear us now.
There they are.
So make sure your computer audio is muted, or the tab is.
Okay.
And then the same thing with that. We'll need to make sure that computer or that tablet audio is muted.
We are about to get going here. All right. I did all the production. I'm gonna take the banner down here.
Hi, everybody.
Hey guys, I'm gonna leave the mic background noise cancellation up, and if it gets sounding like you can't hear us, let us know, and I'll adjust audio back here.
So I am in my basement while these guys are in the same room. Just kidding. It just it just looks like it. Look how different. We're sitting right next to each other.
I was telling.
Crazy!
So I just
Modern technology.
I gave a tease, and I have to finish a story. When I worked at a sports radio station, I was in charge of all the production. And when I was in charge of production, that meant I had to voice a lot of commercials.
Okay.
And they would have advertisers that were from Sage.
Yeah.
You know about those?
I know that it's French.
And I told them I'm not putting my voice on these
Really?
at all. No, I'm not.
My
doing
computer
that.
just went away, so I don't know if I'm still on.
What happened to your computer?
I don't know. I really don't.
Are you plugged in?
Leah's not here because she had to work at the gym. That's why. So I told him that I would not record those commercials.
That looked good.
But the person who would always come in and record the commercials for me would test the mic. And he wouldn't say testing. He'd say,
Testes.
I was going to let them use their imagination.
Oh, well, that might not be right.
Why would they say that? That's terrible. He was saying, does this mic work?
You know why he was saying that? Because that's what Beavis and Butthead did.
Okay.
They would go, testes,
I don't think I knew
testes.
Do you guys does the sound work okay? Everything's good?
I'll be back in a second because my camera stopped.
Yeah, Ryan, and if not, you can share a camera with Chad.
I'm back in already, I think.
That's not you, that's me.
That is you.
You just have to start your camera. Where you at?
There you go.
Popping in.
He's so violent with the mouse.
Leah, we invited Leah. We included Leah, and what did you say she has to do? She's working.
She's cleaning the gym for a big event. She's getting paid to do it. So.
Yeah.
She's doing that side hustle.
Listen, I got a problem with that comment, Diane.
What'd she say?
She thinks it's super funny that my camera died 3 minutes in.
You're as functional as Joe Biden.
Look, I had it plugged in, but the plug didn't work. Really, it is Annie's fault.
It's not my fault.
Having a faulty plug.
I gotta.
So, as you're listening to us talk, Brad, do we have to put our headphones on to hear the State of the Union?
Yeah, you'll need to hear the State of the Union that way.
I have a question.
Okay.
Yes.
Is this making sound?
Yeah, probably.
Is there a way to make it stop?
Yeah, you turn your volume down on it, but I don't know what the volume switch is on that.
Okay. Oh, are we getting close here?
Let me go see if the screen has.
It has.
It is live.
Can I ask you a question, Chris? How would you know?
I'm just like, who's Chris?
This.
Should we put the entire cast of Disney in the background?
I don't see a reason why not.
If it's a character in a Disney movie, I have a stuffy right over here.
So, if you're paying attention in the same fashion that we are, you're realizing that Joe Biden is late.
Orange.
And
I am here to say that Ryan Wiggins was early tonight.
I was early.
Yeah, he beat me here.
Are you leaving 15 minutes early?
Well, I had to pick up the Oreo bites from Papa John's at a particular time.
These are important things.
So,
Everybody say hi to Henry.
hi, Henry.
Hi, Henry. Do I know Henry?
Yeah, we know Henry.
Hey, Henry.
Oh yeah, Truth Social. Thanks for the reminder, Amy.
What?
To pull up Truth Social.
Can you figure out how to turn the volume down on this thing?
On the tablet.
Yeah, because we can hear the sound coming through. Come on.
Mike
let's go,
Johnson's like,
YouTube.
where is this guy?
Look, they're robots.
I am here to say that I think that Kamala Harris looks really pretty. She looks good.
That's not what
I'm here to say that Matt Gaetz looks wonderful.
And Joe Manchin.
Yeah, look at
Looking
that
like a
dude.
stud. Sit
You know
next
what?
to his buddy, Mitt Romney.
Mitt Romney is an attractive man.
Who do you like better, Mitt Romney or Joe Manchin?
Joe Manchin.
Yeah, me too. Like,
He's every Republican's favorite Democrat.
well, it's not, but I mean, like,
Yeah, but
just
Mitt Romney is a Republican.
if I just went as a person, Mitt Romney seems a little less down to earth than Joe Manchin.
I like that there's a rapper
Accessible.
named
Yeah,
Mitt
and Joe
Romney.
Manchin, I know Joe Manchin drives a Maserati and all that stuff, so he's living that rich people life. But I still think he's more approachable.
Donald Trump said the most recent truth that he put out that I see is this will be an exciting evening. You never know what you're going to get with Crooked Joe. Follow our play-by-play on Truth. DJT.
Hey, does everybody have their Biden bingo cards?
Yeah, I gotta get mine up here.
What about you in the chat?
If you do have your Biden bingo card, just leave a super chat of like $10. Just so we know. Just so we know.
Yeah, super
I
chat
get
$10.
$4.
They got it.
$30 to get 500
We need
cards.
3 of you to do that.
Thank you for asking for the super chat.
Oh, poor Balls. He changed his name and he didn't realize he'd have to wait 14 days. He
It's so
texted
funny.
me today and it said, no, you have to wait 1 more day.
Oh. Oh, man.
Hey, can I just say how impressed I am with us from yesterday when we were talking about that
You can say
Scorpion
that all
story
day.
that we
Yeah,
made
you
it through
can.
that whole segment without mentioning D's nuts.
Ah, true.
Yes, we did.
I was sitting there, I was like, who's going to do it? Who's going to do it?
No,
Who's gonna do it?
we're above that.
Chat was doing it.
Now, I mentioned testicles several times in that segment and beyond it.
Okay. Boys. There's enough of that.
Just, I don't hear it now. Do you hear it, Annie? The echo back feedback or anything like that?
Is the camera still on?
Camera's
What's with
still
all
on.
the,
Oh, it's gone now.
My husband just took me off the stream.
What's that say?
Try again. Internet issue.
We're going to get Annie back.
You know,
Hey, I'm back.
236 people watching. And
Watching some scrolling death circles.
I bet they're downstairs playing some Fortnite right now.
No, I told them they weren't allowed to use the internet. We have over 200 people who have snatched up bingo
mute
cards.
the mic.
Fantastic.
So you're playing
If you
bingo
Look, if you look below there.
with
Sweet.
200 people.
Go ahead.
So I guess you're just going to have to tell us when you win.
I think we are.
That's the camera. Yep, that'll work.
Is the stream
Click the
not
X.
working right now?
Oh, I was gonna.
Hey,
What's that?
Is something happened to the stream?
No, we're still up.
We're not. We can't. The sound is gone.
Really?
And you're frozen.
I'm frozen?
There. Now we're back.
Annie's back. I mean, we should have sound still.
That's just how he looks.
Yeah.
I'm not frozen on my computer.
You won't be frozen on your computer. So if the internet is struggling, it'll be frozen.
I'm gonna turn on my hotspot. Where's my hotspot?
He's back. And you guys can hear us still, right? We can hear and see everything. Okay, we're good there.
It's actually plugged in.
We're gonna switch to the hotspots. So
You could take the
hopefully that streams better.
blue cord from downstairs and put it in Brad's computer. If that's where we need it.
That's one of these.
Can you hear me in the yellow one? We told Ryan the whole time that he's here, he has to pretend like he's frozen.
So I'm gonna do a face that looks like I'm reacting to the State of the Union then the whole time.
Not a lot of room here.
Let's see if that makes sense.
They just showed Ketanji Brown Jackson, or as Annie likes to say, Ketanji Jackson Brown.
Which one is it? I don't remember. And every time I say it, I'm like,
I know.
Let's give it to
I
you,
can
bro.
see that look on your face. It's Ketanji Brown Jackson.
Jackson's last.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to come up with a way to remember that.
Yep.
Ryan's camera froze, and he's like,
Look at you. Look at you.
See? That's what I was trying to do. I was trying to
That's
show
what he
people.
looks like.
That's the look that I'm going to have for the whole thing. I hope that is frozen, but they can still hear me.
I think we can connected to that for
Okay.
sound. So
You have an Ethernet cord or
No.
Ethernet in.
Oh, I might have an Ethernet in.
no.
No.
Go downstairs in my studio, and I have those adapters, and some of them have an Ethernet in.
I'll go see what I can find. I know we have a splitter down there. That's what I was suggesting earlier.
I am on the
Do you want me to
Ethernet.
go down and look? Thank you, Jared.
Byron Donald is next to a sweet beard.
That's not Stubby, is it? No. That's not him.
No. That's
There's only-
Ketanji Brown Jackson
That's right.
It's
and
not
Sheila Jackson Lee.
Yes. Yes, look at you go.
I did not know that. You have to come up with some sort of rhyme.
Oh no, I already
Ketanji
figured it out.
Brown Jackson, she's so in fashion.
That doesn't rhyme.
It's close.
No, it's not.
We're all monster mashing with Ketanji Brown Jackson.
Yes.
How do we know whether the video is frozen or Biden is being his new normal? You don't.
If you got one of those,
It's all part of the game.
5-second pause I've got.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Ooh, I forgot to see.
I haven't looked over mine specifically.
End of quote. That's not gonna happen tonight, but if it does, man,
It's a big. It's a big.
that's a
moment.
big one. My father / my mother. I don't think he's gonna have a coughing fit.
This is mine. Not a lie. I'm serious. I'm not joking that when we got that big. Is that George Santos?
Yeah,
in there?
George Santos is there.
No way.
Yeah, I heard that on the way in.
Who invited him?
I don't know, but it's funny.
There's
Fetterman.
Eric Schmidt.
Oh my gosh.
Wouldn't it be awesome if Fetterman invited him? He's like, I need you to hassle.
In-person cameos.
Yeah. What I need from you.
Somebody paid him $500 to come, like in-person camp.
Yeah, the taxpayers, like the rest of them.
There's Thomas Massey.
That will be your friendly neighborhood.
That's the wrong
Internet-
one.
Internet man.
That's not plugged in. But there's a power strip.
Internet. Actually, it'd be nicer for me than you would.
Alaska, Maine, and Lindsey Graham.
Brad, can I have that cool back from you?
Why is this taking
Yeah.
forever?
You're right.
I have a theory about why he's late.
What's that?
If he starts later, it looks like he went later.
Ooh.
Oh, I don't know.
Look at you go.
That is interesting. Usually, isn't the State of the Union usually right on time? Like they're pretty prompt.
I have a theory why he's late. Because he's old and the drugs haven't kicked in yet.
Maybe they kicked him too much. They couldn't catch him.
Yeah.
He's looking over. Don't jump! I need you. Your guns.
Whoa!
Drew wants to know who has card 1. I'm card 2. I don't know.
I have card 1.
You do have card
Oh
1?
no, I have card 2.
I got 4.
Do you have the same one I have? I'm gonna go
How did
there.
that happen?
We can't have the same card.
No.
Yeah, you gotta get your $30 back.
Oh, I left your adapter downstairs. I'll be right back.
I'm gonna reset my card.
Adapter
You will?
to USB or what?
USB.
Oh, okay.
Oh no, that didn't give me a different card though.
Huh?
It didn't give me a different card.
Can you do it in an incognito window?
House floor is getting a little rowdy, guys.
I just need that first part, don't I?
I have your code.
I have my code too. I just need that.
Does it start with a Q?
Yeah. But this link that you
Seems
put in there,
to be-
I think it's from your card, not the.
It is.
I need a link to just the basic one so that I can log my.
Yeah, that link was for me to revisit,
Okay.
not for everyone. I can send you the.
Yeah, send me the
Do I need
blank
to do
link.
anything?
You can send it in Twitter
Make sure
or
you
in
recognize the line.
the DM. I'll get it either way.
Just click on your internet.
Is that it?
Click here on your internet.
Okay.
You might have to go off the Wi-Fi. Click on. Let's see if it
Turning
your actual
player.
message.
They are almost
your code.
all standing.
Not Matt Gates.
Nope, not Matt Gates.
So, did Kevin McCarthy ever get to sit behind Biden?
I think the first time.
He
Yeah. The 2020. When would they have taken 23? So last year.
But was he? You have to be invited by
He
the
was.
House, so
He was.
I think it was delayed because they of the speaker vote. But he would have been there.
Do you know how I know that? I was looking through last year's promos and found one that said Kevin McCarthy will be sitting behind Biden.
Well, it didn't take it, so I'm gonna just create a new card.
All right, guys. Sorry, it's not started yet, but
Biden's old.
vote
Hey, we're
Republican,
here.
and we won't have these problems.
That's right. Need to get the buses on time.
Look at Bernie Sanders playing with his mask with his hands. Totally sanitary.
I got card number 239.
Good. What?
You have Wi-Fi problems, let me know and I'll kick the kids off or whatever they're doing.
I'm still.
Kick him and put him in the yard. What are they doing?
Molly's upstairs watching something.
Make them watch the same thing. We don't need to have the same two TVs.
Hey, Evelyn.
There's Kentanji Brown, Jackson,
You got it.
Kentanji
You got it.
KJB.
Brown, Jackson.
KBJ.
My internet is really bad.
Are you plugged in?
Yeah.
Here.
What's down here?
Yeah.
Go to a new Wi-Fi.
Here we go. Nope. There we go.
Oh, look at that. It's the Hamas caucus.
Okay. Now what?
Scroll. Do you see one that looks like a phone? Oh, do you see? Does it say Wi-Fi AF?
Mm-hmm.
Wi-Fi AF is my phone. No, that's Wi-Fi.
Oh,
Phone.
You're on Ethernet right now.
yeah. I'm on Ethernet. Wi-Fi. Yeah. Connect.
Connect.
Okay.
Please don't say that out loud.
Mr. Speaker, the President's Cabinet.
There's the second gentleman. It might not be. I don't know YouTube. Did it connect?
Yes. But that's what it look like, is it? Okay. Well, we're getting there.
There it goes.
Am I back?
Yeah.
Yay.
It's your
I
bingo
think your
cards.
computer's just kind of.
I think my computer's, but this is not an old computer though.
Do we want Fox up there or the stream?
What?
Do we want Fox up there or the stream? Fox.
Yeah.
These nuts for you.
What was the one we had today?
Mark Pfeiffer says, "What feed are you on?" It's the White House YouTube.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you hand me the green phone, please?
My mom just texted me, "Are you at Annie's but in a different room?" Nope. For whatever reason, my background, I'm right next to everybody.
Mr. President?
Okay, they're going to announce them shortly.
Okay. I can't hear anything.
Secretary of State.
Ear settings. Audio settings. Your speakers. Just change them until you hear one that works.
Okay.
Hey, Jared.
And then what's your volume set at down here?
We need all other streams. Are you plugged into the Wi-Fi
Yes.
or Ethernet?
Ethernet.
It looks like it's kind of shaky.
We should all be on Ethernet, I think.
I can't hear anything. Are we supposed to be hearing Fox?
No.
Oh,
You should just hear people milling about.
I don't hear anything.
Are you muted? Do you have the StreamYard tab muted?
There's Missouri Zone right there.
Jay Booker says it's like I dialed into AOL. It's kind of a bit of country music. Are you running a lot of different things on your computer right now?
My computer, I've got like a really good processor.
Mhm.
For this thing now.
Okay.
But it's connection. It's just an internet connection.
Is it going to be choppy like this? Are you going to be able to hear it?
I don't know. It looks and sounds good on mine. So I don't know
Okay.
what's going on with Brian's. You want to try some different headphones?
Sure.
Be smart.
Dave, the novels to you.
Can you hand me those headphones over there?
Please?
Yep.
Phelps Day says, tell the kids to get off Wi-Fi.
It's real quick.
We're working on it. Does the sound okay for you guys? So you're going to be able to hear clearly? It sounds clear to me. Perfect.
What was that number that you texted me or us?
The Wi-Fi AF, Wi-Fi AF password.
Okay.
Please don't. That's also my phone number.
Yeah. That's how I looked at it. It's like I recognize that's a number. He said sounds.
Here we go.
Sounds fine. It's just choppy.
Mr. Speaker, the President of the United States.
Slow clap. Working a little fresh. Just gonna talk to this guy for a few minutes. Make sure you got your bingo cards out. Do you think it would be better if I turned this off and just went with my computer here?
Probably.
Okay.
Because that's not getting.
That's Wi-Fi.
That's Wi-Fi. So that's getting the worst feed. Your computer should get a good
Will
one.
it cause the stream to have less strenuousness?
Maybe.
Look, he's like, look at all these people.
Yeah. If you introduced, I would introduce myself if I were Eric Schmidt. I'd be like, "Hi, I'm a senator," and he'd be like, "Wow," because I don't think he knows what is going on.
Do you want like that stool or something so you can get a good camera angle? Probably get over and do it.
Just hold it like this.
Or if you want, we could turn this off and I could give you a camera that you could plug into your laptop that will turn the feed. Sorry, Tigger. I'm gonna leave studio with this one.
I don't know who he's talking to right now, but that's the way I want to comb my hair. Just a little bit over.
This?
Yeah. like like a corpse.
You have sound now.
No.
I just lost it.
I can still hear it on there.
Who's wearing the light?
What was your... Are your headphones plugged in or are they connected Bluetooth? What would they connect to Bluetooth to?
Okay. I just disconnected and reconnected before.
Well, he's about 10 minutes late. Look at her! MAGA! She's wearing a MAGA hat and a coat.
Right in front of him, too. It would be great if she just looked at him and went...
She kind of did.
Did you ever see the,
Is that Marjorie Taylor Greene?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait,
She's a spectacle already, man.
She wore a MAGA hat?
And like a big red MAGA coat.
Love it.
I
So,
don't know if it says
The
MAGA.
White House stream that you're looking at
Uh-huh.
doesn't look like that. Does any of this look jumpy on your screen?
You guys do. What's it look like on your screens?
Jumpy.
Super jumpy.
Gosh. It's too... I think there's too much...
Can you put the the YouTube link in the StreamYard chat and I'll just see if it makes a difference.
They're taking selfies with him. Can you imagine being there and doing that?
He's now 20 minutes late to start.
Yeah.
Mansion. Romney.
These
Biden.
guys are buddies. I can't tell what Manchin said to him, but I think he said, "I am going to run against you under no labels." I'm not sure, though. I don't know for sure, but
I'm
that's
pretty
what it
sure.
looks like to me. And then Romney said the same thing, and then Steve Scalise also said the same thing. But I'm
run
not. Yeah.
against you under no labels. You? It's the same thing with yours now on mine. Let me stop my feed.
And he said this before, but the bar is so low for Biden that he'll probably have a fine night. Because people are going to go, you know what? He gave a speech. And that'll be good enough.
Yeah, I am certain that this is an internet connection issue.
Man, I tell you who's been standing a long time. Mike Johnson and Kamala Harris. They were standing starting at about 8:45 or 7:45 our time.
4 more years. I'm changing my internet connection to see if that changes. I'm putting it on hotspot. Is it still skippy?
Yeah.
If it's still skippy, we'll try to fix it in a GIF.
The rover says it works if you blink your eyes slow.
Just do that, or put a strobe light in front of your computer.
That's the problem. The upload speed is really slow.
What is it?
5.2 megabits per second. You really want it to be about 10. So it's the reason it's slow is because it's slow going up.
We could connect everybody to the mobile hotspot, reboot the house internet. If you go to Wi-Fi AF and then put in that number I sent you.
Let me just connect to mine and see what happens.
Oh, you can make a hotspot?
Man, he is shaking a lot of hands.
Houston's asking if we can use a network feed instead. You can't legally use a network feed. This is from the White House YouTube, so that's a public entity. We can't just take Fox and re-air that, which I wish we could. In the past, I don't know, it's only been within the last couple of years that we've taken YouTube streams and put them in to what we're watching. It's usually just like the three of us and you put it up on your TV at home and watch along. Probably listen to us, and if you want to watch it from your TV at home. Debbie said as long as the audio is okay, the choppiness probably won't be a problem. I'm going to post the link to the bingo cards again.
Mike Johnson's going to tear the speech up at the end of the night.
I'm about to start talking.
Never seen that wide shot with all that wallpaper.
Tony.
All right, get your bingo cards out.
Jill. Good evening. Good evening. If I were smart, I'd go home now. Mr. Speaker, Madam Vice President, members of Congress, my fellow Americans, in January...
Amanda says, are we going for a bingo or a coverall? And I'm going to say, go for whatever.
Yeah.
Can you hear me talking?
War was raging in Europe. President Roosevelt's purpose was to wake up Congress and alert the American people that this was no ordinary time. Freedom and democracy were under assault.
They should.
The
I'm
world.
connected again.
Tonight, I come to this same chamber to address the nation. Now, it's we who face an unprecedented moment in the history of the Union. And yes, my purpose tonight is to wake up the Congress and alert the American people that this is no ordinary moment either. Not since President Lincoln and the Civil War have freedom and democracy been under assault at home as they are today. What makes our moment rare is that freedom and democracy are under attack both at home and overseas at the very same time. Overseas, Putin of Russia is on the march, invading Ukraine and sowing chaos throughout Europe and beyond. If anybody in this room thinks Putin will stop at Ukraine, I assure you he will not. But Ukraine can stop Putin. Ukraine can stop Putin if we stand with Ukraine and provide the weapons
I can't hear it.
that needs to defend itself.
Well, you got it. It's really delayed.
That is all.
I mean, I can hear everything.
That is all Ukraine is asking. They're not asking for American soldiers. In fact, there are no American soldiers at war in Ukraine, and I'm determined to keep it that way. But now, assistance to Ukraine is being blocked by those who want to walk away from our world leadership. It wasn't long ago when a Republican president named Ronald Reagan thundered, "Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall." Now,
Gorbachev turned on this wall.
I was going to say, if they're streaming
now my predecessor,
videos and stuff like that, that's just going to eat
a
up.
former
They're not.
Republican
Damn it,
president
they're not
tells
doing
Putin,
it. Oh.
quote, "Do whatever the hell you want."
Ooh, hell. Did I add that one?
That's a quote.
Is that on there?
A former president actually said that, bowing down to a Russian leader. I think it's outrageous, it's dangerous, and it's unacceptable.
Did you say, let me be clear, let me be clear? I mean it, any of
America is a
Mr.
founding
Pete says
member
this
of
is
NATO,
yelling, right?
the military
I think it
alliance
kinda
of
is.
democratic nations,
But this
created
isn't-
after World War II to prevent war
I'm
and
marking
keep
it.
the peace.
You just want to
Today,
win. I've got it
we've
on
made
mine,
NATO
but I don't
stronger
think it's
than
yelling.
ever. Welcomed Finland to the alliance last year.
Anybody got Finland?
And
No.
just this morning,
This is yelling. Yelling is
Sweden
approved.
officially joined, and their minister is here tonight. We're going to stand up.
Everything stand up.
Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And they know how to fight. Mr. Prime Minister, welcome to NATO, the strongest military alliance the world has ever seen. I say this to Congress, we have to stand up to Putin. Send a bipartisan national security bill. History is literally watching. History is watching.
Repeats
If the United
himself.
States walks away, it will put Ukraine at risk. Europe is at risk. The free world will be at risk, emboldening others to do what they wish to do us harm.
Whoosh.
My message to President Putin, who I've known for a long time, is simple. We will not walk away.
Did he whoosh? Is that what he said?
He said wish. But he didn't say it.
He said whoosh.
We will not bow down.
That's yelling.
I will not bow down.
More yelling.
In a literal
is a
sense,
joke speech
history is watching. History is watching. Just like history watched 3 years ago on January 6th. When
J6.
insurrectionists
January
stormed
6th.
this very Capitol and placed a dagger to the throat of American democracy. Many of you are here on that darkest of days. We all saw with our own eyes the insurrectionists were not patriots.
Ooh, insurrection.
They'd come to stop the peaceful transfer of power, to overturn the will of the people.
Over
January
what?
6th lies
Overstern.
about the 2020 election and the plots to steal the election posed a gravest threat to U.S. democracy since the Civil War. but they failed.
Oh,
Man,
America
if you have
stood.
yelling, you're great.
Yeah, he had one bingo card that was just a
all
yell.
America stood strong,
you can't yell
and
this way for an
democracy
hour.
prevailed.
Democracy prevailed.
We must be honest. The threat to democracy must be defended.
Is threat to democracy?
My predecessor and some of you here seek to bury the truth about January 6th. I will not do that. This is the moment to speak the truth and to bury the lies. Here's the simple truth. You can't love your country only when you win.
Yeah, Democrats.
I mean, at least he's hitting what America cares about.
As I've done ever since being elected to office, I ask all of you without regard to party to join together and defend democracy. Remember your oath of office to defend against all threats, foreign and domestic. Respect free and fair elections, restore trust in our institutions, and make clear political violence has absolutely no place in America, zero place.
I really don't like this man.
Again.
It's like you're both foreign and domestic. It's like you forgot to defend yourself
not-
from enemies.
It's not
both foreign and
hyperbole
domestic.
to suggest history is watching. We're watching. Your children and grandchildren will read about this day and what we do. History is watching another assault on freedom. Joining us tonight is Latoya Beasley, a social worker from Birmingham, Alabama. 14 months ago, she and her
Where are you,
husband
Lucy?
welcomed a baby girl thanks to the miracle of IVF. She scheduled treatments to have that second child. But the Alabama Supreme Court shut down IVF treatments across the state, unleashed by a Supreme Court decision overturning Roe v. Wade. She was told her dream would have to wait. What her family had got through should never have happened. Unless Congress acts, it could happen again. So tonight, let's stand up for families like hers. To my friends across the aisle, don't keep this waiting any longer.
I don't think it was a whisper.
Guarantee the right to AVF.
AVF.
Guarantee it nationwide.
If it's not in vitro, where's the A?
Hey, that's not where that goes, Joe.
Like most Americans,
Airborne.
I believe Roe v. Wade got it right. I thank Vice President Harris for being an incredible leader, defending reproductive freedom, and so much more.
She's doing a great job. He is right about that.
Thank you.
Kind of.
My predecessor came to office determined to see Roe v.
Just a
Wade
lot of
overturned.
things he said.
He's the reason it was overturned, and he brags about it. Look at the chaos that has resulted.
Chaos.
Joining us tonight is Kate Cox, the wife and mother from Dallas. She's become pregnant again and had a fetus of a fatal condition. Her doctor told Kate
Baby. You can call
that
it
her
baby.
own life and her ability to have children of
Fun fact, fetus
children
is
in the
Latin
future.
for
Indiscriminate
We're at risk
mumbling.
if
Mark
she
it.
didn't act. Because Texas law
I
banned her
only need
ability
two.
to act,
Really?
Kate and her husband had to leave the state to get what she needed. What her family
say
got through should have never
what she
happened
needed.
as well, but it's happening in too many others. There are state laws banning the freedom to choose, criminalizing doctors, forcing survivors of rape and incest to leave their states to get the treatment they need.
Did he say look?
Many of you in this chamber and my predecessor are promising to pass a national ban on reproductive freedom. My God, what freedom else would you take away?
Trump's
Look.
not saying that.
Nobody's
The
saying
decision
that.
to overturn Roe v. Wade, the Supreme Court majority wrote the following.
This is like last year when he
With all
said,
due respect, justices, women are not without electoral power. Electoral or political power. You're about to realize just how much you were right about that.
Later, driver.
Yeah.
nailed it.
Clearly,
They said he did say look. I think he did.
Okay.
You can put that
I'll
down.
take it.
clearly,
Yeah, it's close.
those bragging about overturning Roe v. Wade have no clue about the power of women. But they found out when reproductive freedom was on the ballot. We won in 2022 and 2020, and we'll win again in 2024.
Oh, coughing.
It's a coughing fit.
Okay.
Not be clear yet. We'll get one.
If you, the American people, send me a Congress that supports the right to choose, I promise you, I'll restore Roe v. Wade as the law of the land again.
It wasn't the law of the land. You can't do it again. If it's not.
It would be a new law.
Folks, America cannot go back. I'm here tonight to show what I believe is the way forward, because I know how far we come. 4 years ago next week, before I came to office, the country was hit by the worst pandemic and the worst economic crisis in a century. Remember the fear, record losses? Remember the spikes in crime and the murder rate, raging virus that took more than 1 million American lives, of loved ones, millions left behind? A mental health crisis of isolation and loneliness. A president, my predecessor, failed the most basic presidential duty that he owes to American people, the duty to care. I think that's unforgivable. I came to office determined to get us through one of the toughest periods in the nation's history. We have. It doesn't make news in 1,000 cities and towns. The American people are writing the greatest comeback story never told. So let's tell the story here. Tell it here and now. America's comeback is building the future of American possibilities, building an economy from the middle out and the bottom up, not the top down. Investing in all America, in all Americans, to make sure everyone has a fair shot. And we leave no one behind. The pandemic no longer controls our lives. The vaccines that saved us from COVID are now being used to beat cancer.
How can you?
Turning setback into comeback.
What?
That's what America does. That's what America does.
The vaccines that help us beat COVID are now helping us beat cancer?
I think that's in the 6th paragraph of the story. I think that should be the headline.
I hear the
Why is
economy's on
this
the
the
brink.
first I'm hearing of that?
Now our economy is literally the envy of the world. 15 million new jobs in just 3 years. A record. A record.
Government jobs?
Unemployment at 50-year lows.
Hunter says, with a cancer vaccine?
Record
Apparently,
16
Hunter.
million Americans are starting small businesses, and each one is a literal act of hope. With historic job growth and small business growth for Black and Hispanics and Asian Americans, 800,000 new manufacturing jobs in America and counting. Where is it written we can't be the manufacturing capital of the world? We are, we will. More people have health insurance today. More people have health insurance today than ever before. The racial wealth gap is as small as it's been in 20 years. Wages keep going up, inflation keeps coming down. Inflation has dropped from 9% to 3%, the lowest in the world, and tending lower.
Trending?
The landing is and will be soft.
That is
Now,
a meme.
instead of importing
Howard.
foreign products and exporting American jobs,
Mike Johnson
we're
is
exporting
rolling his
American
eyes.
products and creating American jobs. Right here in America, where they belong. And it takes time, but the American people are beginning to feel it. Consumer studies show consumer confidence is soaring.
We're supposed to be.
Okay.
Buy America has been the law of the land since the 1930s. Past administrations, including my predecessor, including some Democrats as well in the past, failed to buy American. Not anymore. On my watch, federal projects that you fund, like helping build American roads, bridges, and highways, will be made with American products and built by American workers. Creating good-paying American jobs.
Apparently the Michigan non-committed vote is making him focus in on the auto workers.
And thanks to our CHIPS and Science Act, the United States is investing more in research and development than ever before. During the pandemic, a shortage of semiconductors, chips, that drove up the price of everything from cell phones to automobiles. And by the way, we invented those chips right here in America. Well, instead of having to import them, private companies are now investing billions of dollars to build new chip factories here in America, creating tens of thousands of jobs. Many of those jobs paying $100,000 a year and don't require a college degree. In fact, my policies have attracted $650 billion in private sector investment in clean energy, advanced manufacturing, creating tens of thousands of jobs here in America.
Talking about like billions that we spent that hasn't gone off the ground in these projects.
And thanks to our bipartisan infrastructure law, 46,000 new projects have been announced all across your communities. And by the way, I noticed some of you strongly voted against it, or they're cheering on that money coming in. I like it. I'm with you. I'm with you.
Gosh, he's angry.
And if any of you don't want that money in your district, just let me know. Modernizing our roads and bridges, ports and airports, public transit systems. Removing poisonous lead pipes so every child can drink clean water without risk of brain damage. Providing affordable high-speed internet for every American, no matter where you live, urban, suburban, and rural communities, in red states and blue states. Record investments in tribal communities. Because of my investment in family farms.
Look at how much money I spent.
Because I invested in family farms led by my Secretary of Agriculture, who knows more about this than anybody I know.
Is the internet speeding him up?
I don't know, because
that
is a mess.
Grandchildren won't have to leave home to make a living. It's transformative. The great comeback story is Belvedere, Illinois, home to an auto plant for nearly 60 years. Before I came to office, the plant was on its way to shutting down. Thousands of workers feared for their livelihoods.
Maybe that's
hope
because
was
the
fading.
Illinois business climate
Then
sucks.
I was elected to office, and we raised the Belvedere repeatedly with auto companies, knowing unions would make all the difference. The UAW worked like hell to keep the plant open and get these jobs back, and together we succeeded. Instead of auto factories shutting down, auto factories reopening, and new state-of-the-art battery factories being built to power those cars there at the same. The folks of Belvedere, I say, instead of your town being left behind, your community is moving forward again. Because instead of watching auto jobs of the future go overseas, 4,000 union jobs with higher wages are building the future in Belvedere right here in America.
Yeah, Delps says Granite City Steel. Yeah. And I'll do that
one. Here tonight is UAW President Shawn Fain, a great friend and a great labor leader. Shawn, where are you? Stand up.
Oh, people getting bingos.
And Dawn Sims, a third-generation worker, UAW worker at Belvedere. Shawn, I was proud to be the first president to stand on the picket line, and today, Dawn has a good job in her hometown, providing stability for her family and pride and dignity as well. Showing once again, Wall Street didn't build America. They're not bad guys. They didn't build it, though. The middle class built the country, and unions built the middle class.
Man, he didn't want to lose Michigan.
Mm-hmm. This is just a Michigan speech.
Yeah.
I say to the American people, when America gets knocked down, we get back up. We keep going. That's America. That's you, the American people.
Yeah, but we're getting knocked
It's
down
because
by
of you America's coming back. It's because of you our future is brighter. It's because of you that tonight we can proudly say the state of our union is strong and getting stronger.
This is utter bullshit.
Yeah, straight up just got up there and lied about everything.
Tonight, I want to talk about the future of possibilities that we can build together. A future where the days of trickle-down economics are over and the wealthy and the biggest corporations no longer get all the tax breaks. And by the way, I understand corporations. I come from a state that has more corporations invested than every one of your states in the United States combined.
Which state
and I
is that?
represented it for 36 years. I'm not anti-corporation, but I grew up in a home where trickle-down economics didn't put much on my dad's kitchen table.
Dad, father,
That's why
mother.
I determined to turn things around so middle class does well.
Ooh, I
When
only
they
need
do
all
well,
kidding
the poor
aside.
go way up and the wealthy still do very well. We all do well. And there's more to do to make sure you're feeling the benefits of all we're doing. Americans pay more for prescription drugs than anywhere in the world. It's wrong, and I'm ending it.
Again, why now? Why didn't you do that a couple years ago?
Save that stuff for campaigning. Steven says, come on, Joe,
With
tell
the
us that
law-
you mean it.
That I proposed and signed, not one of you Republican buddies voted for it. We finally beat Big Pharma. Instead of paying $400 a month or thereabouts for insulin with diabetes, and it only costs $10 to make, they only get paid $35 a month now and still make a healthy profit.
This one for you, Steven.
And I want to
Beat Big Pharma. Remember 2021?
what to do next. I want to cap the cost of insulin at $35 a month for every American who needs it. Everyone.
This is like an omnibus bill. He says something at the beginning of the sentence, the end of the sentence, but you don't really know what's in the
Yeah.
middle. It could be anything.
People have talked about it, but finally we got it done and gave Medicare the power to negotiate lower prices on prescription drugs, just like the VA is able to do for veterans. That's not just saving seniors money, it's saving taxpayers money. We cut the federal deficit by $160 billion.
Oh, I hate that word! You didn't cut the deficit!
Because Medicare will no longer have to pay those exorbitant prices to Big Pharma. This year, Medicare is negotiating lower prices for some of the costliest drugs on the market that treat everything from heart disease to arthritis. It's now time to go further and give Medicare the power to negotiate lower prices for 500 different drugs over the next decade.
He's trying to make up that 20 minutes he lost at the beginning of the speech.
We're making a lot of money, guys.
His bedtime's the same. So
Yeah.
he has
And
to
they'll
make it
still
up.
be extremely profitable. Will not only save lives, it will save taxpayers another $200 billion. Starting next year, the same law caps total prescription drug costs for seniors on Medicare at $2,000 a year. Even for expensive cancer drugs that cost $10,000, $12,000, $15,000.
We don't need cancer drugs. We have a vaccine.
I want to cap prescription
Yeah,
drug
we're
costs
fine.
at $2,000 a year
vaccinated
for
against
everyone.
With bad Big Pharma.
Folks, I'm going to get in trouble for saying that, but if you want to get in Air Force One and fly to Toronto, Berlin, Moscow,
White House
excuse me,
feeds at
and well, even Moscow, probably. And bring your prescription with you, and I promise you I'll get it for you for 40% the cost you're paying now. Same company, same drug, same place. Folks, the Affordable Care Act, the old Obamacare, it's still a very big deal. Over 100 million of you can no longer be denied health insurance because of pre-existing condition. But my predecessor, and many in this chamber,
Say
want
his
to
name.
take the prescription drug away by repealing Affordable Care Act. I'm not going to let that happen.
That's real close.
We stopped you 50 times before and we'll stop you again. In fact, I'm not only protecting it, I'm expanding it. They enacted tax credits of $800 per person per year, reduce health care costs for millions of working families.
No.
That tax credit expires
It's just
next
low
year.
talking.
I say yes.
I want to make that savings
2 out of 3
permanent.
say yes.
Okay.
Whispers it is. Whispers.
I don't have whispers.
I do.
Oh, yeah, I do.
Amanda says, oh man, he's
State the obvious.
switching to creepy
Women
Joe.
are more than half our population, but research on women's health has always been underfunded.
Yes, tell us
That's
about
why
it.
we're launching the first ever White House initiative on women's health research, led by Jill, doing an incredible
Dr. Jill.
job as First Lady.
What qualifies her to do this?
So pass my plan for $12 billion to transfer women's health research and benefit millions of lives all
Joe
across
Biden?
America.
To lead up women's health? Why is she
I know the
qualified?
cost of housing is so important to you. If inflation keeps coming down, mortgage rates will come down as well, and the Fed acknowledges that. But I'm not waiting. I want to provide an annual tax credit that will give Americans $400 a month for the next 2 years as mortgage rates come down, to put toward their mortgages when they buy their first home or trade up for a little more space.
Are we getting a stimulus?
Just for 2
What
years.
he kind of said.
Tax credit.
$400.
How about you just don't take it from us?
And my administration is also eliminating title insurance on federally backed mortgages. When you refinance your home, you can save $1,000 or more as a consequence. For millions of renters, we're cracking down on big landlords who use antitrust law, who break antitrust laws by price fixing and driving up rents. We've cut red tape
That
so
person's really
builders can
excited
get
about it.
federally financing, which is already helping build a record 1.7 million new housing units nationwide.
Let's start with somebody.
Now pass and build and renovate 2 million affordable homes and bring those rents down.
I really don't like this president.
To remain the strongest economy in the world, we need to have the best education system in the world. And I suspect all of you, want to give every child, a good start by providing access to preschool for 3 and 4 years old.
No.
You know,
No, don't get the government
I
involved in
pointed
that.
out
Actually,
last
want to get rid
year.
of public education as a government department.
I think I pointed out last year that children coming from broken homes where there's no books, they're not read to, not spoken to very often, start school, kindergarten, or first grade, having heard 1 million fewer words spoken. Well, studies show that children who go to preschool are nearly 50% more likely to finish high school, go on to earn a 2- and 4-year degree, no matter what their background is. I met a year and a half ago with the leaders of the Business Roundtable. They were mad that they were angry. I think, well, they were discussing why I wanted to spend money on education.
They were
I
angry
pointed
about
out to
it.
them as vice president. I met with over 8, I think it was 182
Wheels are coming
of those
off.
folks. Don't hold me to the exact number. And I asked them what they need most, the CEOs. And you've had the same experience on both sides of the aisle. They say a better educated workforce, right? So I looked at them and I say, I come from Delaware. DuPont used to be the 8th largest corporation in the world. And every new enterprise they bought, they educated the workforce to that enterprise. But none of you do that anymore. Why are you angry with me providing you the opportunity for the best educated workforce in the world? And they all looked at me and said, I think you're right. I want to expand high-quality tutoring and summer learning to see that every child learns to read by 3rd grade. I'm also connecting local businesses and high schools so students get hands-on experience and a path to a good-paying job whether or not they go to college. And I want to make sure the college is more affordable.
And tell the universities.
Let's continue increasing the Pell Grants to working and middle-class families and increase record investments in HBCUs and minority-serving institutions, including Hispanic institutions. When I was told I couldn't universally just change the way in which we dealt with student loans, I fixed 2 student loan programs that already existed to reduce the burden of student debt for nearly 4 million Americans, including nurses, firefighters, and others in public service. Like Keenan Jones, a public educator from Minnesota, who's here with us tonight. Keenan, where are you? Keenan, thank you. He's educated hundreds of students so they can go to college. Now he's able to help, after debt forgiveness, get his own daughter to college. And folks, look, such relief is good for the economy because folks are now able to buy a home, start a business, start a family. While we're at it, I want to give public school teachers a raise.
Yes, he did say, look.
By the way, the first couple of years we cut the deficit. Now let me speak to the question of fundamental fairness for all Americans. I've been delivering real results in fiscally responsible ways. We've already cut the federal deficit. We've already cut the federal deficit over $1 trillion.
He just gives up on words.
I signed the bipartisan deal.
They've cut the federal deficit.
Cut another $1 trillion in the next decade. It's my goal to cut the federal deficit another $3 trillion by making big corporations and the very wealthy finally beginning to pay their fair share.
Here come the tax hikes, which makes prices on us all go up.
Look,
Look.
I'm a capitalist. If you want to make or can make $1 million or millions of bucks, that's great. Just pay your fair share in taxes.
Never define fair share.
A
What's
fair tax code is how we invest things to make this country great. Healthcare,
No, the
education, defense,
American
and
people
so
is
much
how you
more.
make it great.
But here's the deal.
Oh.
The last administration
deal.
enacted a $2 trillion tax cut, overwhelmingly benefit the top 1%, the very wealthy and the biggest corporations, and exploded
Did he say
the
here's the
federal
deal?
deficit. They added more to the national debt than any presidential term in American history. Check the numbers. Folks at home, does anybody really think the tax code is fair?
No, I think we're getting screwed.
No.
Do you
it
really think
sucks.
the wealthy and big corporations need another $2 trillion tax break? I sure don't.
You had
I'm going to
both
keep
chambers
fighting
of
like hell to make
Congress.
it fair. Under my plan, nobody earning less than $400,000 a year will pay additional penny in federal taxes. Nobody, not one penny.
No,
And they
new
haven't yet.
taxes. I say read his lips, but he doesn't have
In
them.
fact, the child tax credit I passed during the pandemic cut taxes for millions of working families and cut child poverty in half. Restore that child tax credit. No child should go hungry in this country. The way to make the tax code fair is to make big corporations and the very wealthy begin to pay their fair share. Remember in 2020, 55 of the biggest companies in America paid $40 billion and paid zero in federal income tax. Zero. Not anymore. Thanks to the law I wrote and we signed, big companies have to pay a minimum of 15%. But that's still less than working people pay in federal taxes. It's time to raise corporate minimum tax to at least 21%. So every big corporation finally begins to pay their fair share. I also want to end tax breaks for big pharma, big oil, private jets, massive executive pay when it's only supposed to be $1 million that can be deducted. They can pay them $20 million if they want, but deduct $1 million. End it now. You know, there are 1,000 billionaires in America. You know what the average federal tax is for those billionaires? No. They're making great sacrifices, 8.2%. That's far less than the vast majority of Americans pay. No billionaire should pay a lower federal tax rate than a teacher, a sanitation worker, or a nurse. I propose a minimum tax for billionaires of 25%, just 25%. You know what that would raise? That would raise $500 billion over the next 10 years. And imagine what that could do for America. Imagine a future with affordable child care. Millions of families can get they need to go to work to help grow the economy. Imagine a future with paid leave, because no one should have to choose between working and taking care of their sick family member. Imagine the future of home care and elder care, and people living with disabilities so they can stay in their homes and family caregivers can finally get the pay they deserve. Tonight, let's all agree once again to stand up for seniors. Many of my friends on the other side of the aisle want to put Social Security on the chopping block. If anyone here tries to cut Social Security, Medicare, or raise the retirement age, I will stop you.
All right, Batman.
The working people who built this country pay more into Social Security than millionaires and billionaires do. It's not fair. We have two ways to go. Republicans can cut Social Security and give more tax breaks to the wealthy. That's the proposal. Oh no, you guys don't want another $2 trillion tax cut? I kind of thought that's what your plan was. Well, that's good to hear. You're not going to cut another $2 trillion for the super wealthy. That's good to hear. I'll protect and strengthen Social Security and make the wealthy pay their fair share. Look. Too many corporations raise prices to pad their profits, charging more and more for less and less. That's why we're cracking down on corporations that engage in price gouging and deceptive pricing, from food to health care to housing. In fact, the snack companies think you won't notice if they change the size of the bag and put a hell of a lot fewer, same size bag, put fewer chips in it. No, I'm not joking.
Not a
It's called
joke.
shrinkflation. Pass Bobby Casey's bill and stop this.
Not a joke.
I really mean it.
I really mean it. No, I was all kidding aside.
Mean it. I've got mean it.
Mean it.
You probably all saw that commercial on Snickers bars.
He needs to keep going
You
on
get
script.
charged the same amount, and you got about, I don't know, 10% fewer Snickers in it. Look, I'm also getting rid of junk fees. Those hidden fees at the end of your bill that are there without your knowledge. My administration announced we're cutting credit card late fees from $32 to $8.
Jennifer says it's not a joke the same as not joking. Yeah, you can mark it.
Yeah.
Banks and credit card companies are allowed to charge what it costs them to instigate the collection.
He should just at the end
And that's
say,
more a hell of a lot like
ish.
$8.37. They don't like it. Credit card companies don't like it. But I'm saving American families $20 billion a year with all the junk fees I'm eliminating.
You're sending me $20 billion?
Yeah, he is.
Folks at home,
Jared, where you been putting them billions of dollars?
that's why the banks are so mad. It's $20 billion in profit.
Look at Mike Johnson. I love this man.
I'm not stopping there. My administration has proposed rules to make cable, travel, utilities, and online ticket sellers tell you the total price up front so there are no surprises. It matters.
Dude, of everything you could be talking
It
about,
matters.
this.
And so does this. In November,
We almost have 500
my team
people
began
watching.
serious negotiations with a bipartisan group of
Thank you all.
senators. The result was a bipartisan bill with the toughest set of border security reforms we've ever seen.
Bull.
Oh, you don't think so?
No.
Oh, you don't like that bill, huh?
No.
That conservatives got together and said it was a good bill? I'll be darned. That's amazing. That bipartisan bill would hire 1,500 more security agents and officers.
To funnel the people
100 more
in.
immigration judges to help tackle the backload of 2 million cases.
There it is.
4,300 more asylum officers. And new
cases.
policies so they can resolve cases in 6 months instead of 6 years now.
He is a piece of. This like has my heart beating faster.
What are you
right now.
against?
What a liar. Piece of
100 more high-tech drug detection machines to significantly increase the ability to screen and stop vehicles smuggling fentanyl into America.
Maybe just
That's
don't let 'em
killing
in.
thousands of children. This bill would save lives and bring order to the border. It will also give me and any new president new emergency authority to temporarily shut down the border when the number of migrants at the border is overwhelming. The Border
don't you just
Patrol
shut it
Union has
down?
endorsed this bill.
You don't need
The Federal
power.
Chamber of
You don't
Commerce
need
is,
that
yeah.
emergency power.
You're saying low. Look at the facts. I know
Heckle him.
you
He's
know
saying
how to
what's
read.
wrong.
I believe that given the opportunity for a majority in the House and Senate would endorse the bill as well, a majority right now. But unfortunately, politics has derailed this bill so far.
Mike Johnson.
I'm
he's
told
the man.
my
Don't
predecessor
take it up.
called members of Congress in the Senate to demand they block the bill. He
Say his
feels
name.
political win. He viewed it as will be a political win for me and a political loser for him. It's not about him. It's not about me. I'd be a winner, not really.
I'd be a winner, not really? Is that what he said?
Yes.
This is 5-second pause.
Lincoln Riley, an innocent young woman who was
Lincoln.
killed by an
Not
illegal.
Lincoln.
That's right. But how many of the thousands of people being killed by illegals? To her parents, I say, my heart goes out to you, having lost children myself. I understand. But look, if we change the dynamic at the border, people pay these smugglers $8,000 to get across the border because they know if they get by and let into the country, it's 6 to 8 years before they have a hearing.
I marked that up. Hold on.
And it's worth taking the chance of the $8,000. But
What is he talking about?
if it's only 6 weeks, the idea is it's highly unlikely that people will pay that money and come all that way, knowing that they'll be able to be kicked out quickly. Folks,
This guy.
I would respectfully suggest my Republican friends owe it to the American people, get this bill done. We need to act now.
He just standard his way through the bipartisan bill.
What
It
a
doesn't
disaster.
make any sense whatsoever. It's like that scene from Space Force. Everybody,
And if my predecessor is watching, instead of paying politics
Paying
and
politics?
pressuring members of Congress to block the bill, join me in telling the Congress to pass it. We can do it together. But that's what here's what he will not do. I will not demonize immigrants saying they are poison in the blood of our country. I will not separate families. I will not ban people because of their faith. Unlike my predecessor on my first day in office, I introduced a comprehensive bill to fix our immigration system. Take a look at it. It has all these and more. Secure the border. Provide a pathway to citizenship for dreamers. And so much more. But unlike my predecessor,
I would pay
I know who we are as Americans.
Mike Johnson $1,000.
And we're the
to
only
vomit on
nation in the
himself
world
right
with
now.
a heart and soul that draws from old and new. Home to Native Americans whose ancestors have been here for thousands of years. Home to people of from every place on earth. They came freely. Some came in chains. Some came when famine struck, like my ancestral family in Ireland. Some to flee persecution, to chase dreams that are impossible anywhere but here in America. That's America. And we all come from somewhere, but we're all Americans.
Not all Americans. Those people coming here are not Americans.
Yeah, that's the point of this portion of the speech.
Look, folks,
Look,
we have a simple choice. We can fight about fixing the border, or we can fix it. I'm ready to fix it.
Then do it.
Send me the border bill now.
No.
A transformational moment in history
Didn't know where we were going.
happened 59 years ago today in Selma, Alabama. Hundreds of foot soldiers for justice marched across the Edmund Pettus Bridge, named after the Grand Dragon of the Ku Klux Klan, to
Was he
claim their
Democrat?
fundamental right to vote. They were beaten, they were bloody, and left for dead. Our late friend and former colleague, John Lewis, was on that march. We miss him.
Where you at, John? Stand back.
But joining us tonight are other marchers, both in the gallery and on the floor, including Betty Mae Fikes, known as the voice of Selma. The daughter of gospel singers and preachers, she sang songs of prayer and protest on that bloody Sunday to help shake the nation's conscience. 5 months later, the Voting Rights Act passed and was signed into law. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Let's talk about the party who was for equality.
But 59 years later, there are forces taking us back in time. Voter suppression, election subversion, unlimited dark money, extreme gerrymandering. John Lewis was a great friend to many of us here. But if you truly want to honor him and all the heroes that marched with him, then it's time to do more than talk. Pass the Freedom to Vote Act,
Say the freaking bill.
the John Lewis Voting Right Act.
Federalize elections. For democracy.
Or something-ish.
And stop denying another core value of America, our diversity across American life. Banning books, it's wrong.
Which book came
Instead
to
of erasing history, let's make history. I want to protect fundamental rights. Pass the Equality Act. And my message to transgender Americans, I have your back. Pass the PRO Act for workers' rights.
Man,
Raise the federal minimum wage, because every worker has a right to a decent living more than $7 an hour. We're also making history by confronting the climate crisis, not denying it.
There it is.
Climate.
I don't think any of you think there's no longer a climate crisis.
This
At least I hope you
climate
don't.
change, climate crisis. We gonna give that?
I'm
Yeah.
taking the most significant action ever on climate in the history of the world. I'm cutting our carbon emissions in half by 2030, creating tens of thousands of clean energy jobs like the IBEW work is building and installing 500,000 electric vehicle charging stations. Conserving 30% of America's lands and waters by 2030. And taking action on environmental justice, fence line communities smothered by the legacy of
Scooter
pollution.
says the Republicans seem dispirited. No,
Pattern
we're
after the
effing
Peace Corps and
pissed
American
off.
Corps, I launched the Climate Corps to put 20,000 young people to work
This guy hates
in the
America.
forefront of our clean energy future. I'll triple that number in a decade.
With whose money? And what's the result? Your scientists can't even prove that there's a measurable result.
To state the obvious, all Americans deserve the freedom to be safe. And America is safer today than when I took office.
Oh,
Year before I took office, murder rates went up 30%. 30% they went up. The biggest increase in history. It was then,
What are they?
through my American Rescue Plan, which every American voted against, I might add, we made the largest investment in public safety ever. Last year, the murder rate saw the sharpest decrease in history. Violent crime fell to one of its lowest levels in more than 50 years. But we have more to do. We have to help cities invest in more community police officers, more mental health workers, more community violence intervention. Give communities the tool to crack down on gun crime, retail crime, and carjacking. Keep building trust as they've been doing by taking executive action on police reform and calling for it to be the law of the land.
He's importing criminals.
Directing my cabinet to review the federal classification of marijuana and expunging thousands of convictions for the mere possession, because no one should be jailed for simply using or having on their record.
I don't know what.
Take on crimes of domestic violence. I'm ramping up the federal enforcement of the Violence Against Women Act that I proudly wrote when I was a senator, so we can finally end the scourge against women in America.
Andy, can you speak to that scourge?
I feel scared.
There are other kinds of violence I want to stop. With us tonight is Jasmine, whose 9-year-old sister Jackie was murdered with 21 classmates and teachers in an elementary school in Uvalde, Texas. Very soon after that happened, Jill and I went to Uvalde for a couple of days. We spent hours and hours with each of the families. We heard their message, so everyone in this room, in this chamber, could hear the same message. The constant refrain, and I was there for hours meeting with every family. They said, do something. Do something. Well, I did do something by establishing the first ever Office of Gun Violence Prevention in the White House, that the Vice President is leading the charge. Thank you for doing it. Meanwhile, my predecessor told the NRA he's proud he did nothing on guns when he was president. Oh. After another shooting in Iowa recently, he said, when asked what to do about it, he said, just get over it. There's his quote. Just get over it. I say, stop it. Stop it, stop it, stop it. I'm proud we beat the NRA when I signed the most significant gun safety law in nearly 30 years because of this Congress. We now must beat the NRA again. I'm demanding a ban on assault weapons and high-capacity magazines. Pass universal background checks. None of this. I taught the Second Amendment for 12 years. None of this violates the Second Amendment.
He taught it?
Or vilifies responsible gun owners.
Well, he's, professor at Delaware.
As we manage challenges at home, we're also managing crises abroad, including in the Middle East. I know the last 5 months have been gut-wrenching for so many people, for the Israeli people, for the Palestinian people, and so many here in America. This crisis began on October 7th with a massacre by a terrorist group called Hamas, as you all know. 1,200 innocent people, women and girls, men and boys, slaughtered after enduring sexual violence. The deadliest day for the Jewish people since the Holocaust, and 250 hostages taken. Here in this chamber tonight are families whose loved ones are still being held by Hamas. I pledge to all the families that we will not rest until we bring every one of your loved ones home. We also...
How many vacations has he taken since October 7th, 2023? How many vacations? You rested.
If you guys follow Joe Concha on Twitter, he posts his schedule.
We will also work around the clock to bring home Evan and Paul, Americans being unjustly detained by the Russians and others around the world. Israel has the right to go after Hamas. Hamas ended this conflict by releasing hostages, laying down arms, could end it by releasing the hostages, laying down arms, and surrendering those responsible for October 7th.
Correct.
But Israel has Israel has a added burden because Hamas hides and operates among the civilian population like cowards under hospitals, daycare centers, and all the like. Israel also has a fundamental responsibility, though, to protect innocent civilians in Gaza. This war has taken a greater toll on innocent civilians than all previous wars in Gaza combined. More than 30,000 Palestinians have been killed, most of whom are not Hamas. Thousands and thousands of innocents, women and children, girls and boys, also orphaned. Nearly 2 million more Palestinians under bombardment or displacement. Homes destroyed, neighborhoods in rubble, cities in ruin, families without food, water, medicine. It's heartbreaking.
Or bow and end of quote.
I've been working nonstop to establish an immediate ceasefire that will last for 6 weeks to get all the prisoners released, all the hostages released, to get the hostages home and ease the intolerable and humanitarian crisis and build toward an enduring, something more enduring. The United States has been leading international efforts to get more humanitarian assistance to Gaza. Tonight, I'm directing the U.S. military to lead an emergency mission to establish a temporary pier in the Mediterranean on the coast of Gaza that can receive large shipments carrying food, water, medicine, and temporary shelters. No U.S. boots will be on the ground. A temporary pier will enable a massive increase in the amount of humanitarian assistance getting into Gaza every day. And Israel must do its part. Israel must allow more aid into Gaza to ensure humanitarian workers aren't caught in the crossfire.
Who's putting the humanitarian workers in the crossfire?
They're going to have a crossing in northern Gaza. For the leadership of Israel, I say this. Humanitarian assistance cannot be a secondary consideration or a bargaining chip.
It's not on Israel.
Protecting and saving innocent lives has to be a priority.
Hunter's right.
As we look to the future, the only real solution to the situation is a two-state solution over time.
Tell Hamas.
Yeah. Israel's not the one who doesn't want a two-state solution.
And I say this as a lifelong supporter of Israel. My entire career, no one has a stronger record with Israel than I do. I challenge any of you.
No one has a what?
I'm the only American president of Israel in wartime. But there is no other path that guarantees Israel's security and democracy. There is no other path that guarantees Palestinians can live in peace with peace and dignity. And there's no other path that guarantees peace between Israel and all of its neighbors, including Saudi Arabia, with whom I'm talking. Creating stability in the Middle East also means containing the threat posed by Iran.
Anybody remember the
That's why I built a coalition of more than a dozen countries to defend international shipping and freedom of navigation in the Red Sea. I've ordered strikes to degrade the Houthi capability and defend U.S. forces in the region.
You didn't do it.
As Commander-in-Chief, I will not hesitate to direct further measures to protect our people and our military personnel. For years, I've heard many of my Republican and Democratic friends say that China is on the rise and America is falling behind. They've got it backwards. I've been saying it for over 4 years, even when I wasn't president. America's rising. We have the best economy in the world. And since I've come to office, our GDP is up, our trade deficit with China is down to the lowest point in over a decade. And we're standing up against China's unfair economic practices. We're standing up for peace and stability across the Taiwan Straits. I've revitalized our partnership and alliance in the Pacific. India, Australia, Japan, South Korea, Pacific Islands. I've made sure that the most advanced American technologies can't be used in China, not allowing to trade them there. Frankly, for all this tough talk on China, it never occurred to my predecessor to do any of that.
Say Trump.
I want competition with China, not conflict.
Yeah, he's a friend of him. He called
And we're in
it
a
the China
stronger
virus.
position to win the conflict in the 21st century
you called
against
him
China
racist
than
for it.
anyone else for that matter, than any time as well. Here at home, I've signed over 400 bipartisan bills. There's more to pass my unity agenda. Strengthen
Scooter,
penalties
if you
on
think a
fentanyl
two-state
trafficking.
solution is
You don't want to do
possible,
that, huh?
Go home, you're drunk.
Pass bipartisan privacy legislation to protect our children online. Harness
Scooter, research the Camp David Accords.
Harness the promise of AI to protect us from peril.
That's what Arafat said if he signed that.
Ban AI voice impersonations and more.
Ban AI voice impersonations.
Keep our truly sacred obligation to train and equip those we send into harm's way
I was literally
and care
talking
for
to
them and
somebody
their
today
families
about
when
a
they come
Biden
home
AI voice.
and when they don't.
It's really great you're all here with us because I know you want to turn this off.
That's why,
I feel it right here.
the song Support and Help of Dennis and the VA, I signed the PACT Act. One of the most significant laws ever, helping millions of veterans exposed to toxins who now are battling more than 100 different cancers. Many of them don't come home, but we owe them and their families support. We owe it to ourselves to keep supporting our new health research agency called ARPA-H. And
Not
remind
saying that
us,
the protester was yelling about Abby Gay.
remind us that we can do big things, like end cancer as we know it, and we will.
He said he was going to do that day one. This is
This
later.
may be the third State of the Union that he's talked about ending cancer.
Yes.
And then you don't hear about it until when?
Until the State of the
Nice
Union.
State of the Union.
Let me close with this.
He was also the cancer czar.
Yay!
Okay, I didn't have that on there.
Republicans cheered him.
I know you don't want to hear any more, Lindsay, but I got to say a few more things. I know it may not look like it, but I've been around a while.
All right.
When you get to be my age, certain things become clearer than ever.
Like your words?
I know the American story. Again and again, I've seen the contest between competing forces in the battle for the soul of our nation. Between those who want to pull America back to the past and those who want to move America into the future. My lifetime has taught me to embrace freedom and democracy,
She's
a
spicy.
future based on core values that have defined America: honesty, decency, dignity, equality, to respect everyone, to give everyone a fair shot, to give hate no safe harbor. Now other people my age see it differently. The American story of resentment, revenge, and retribution, that's not me. I was born amid World War II when America stood for the freedom of the world. I grew up in Scranton, Pennsylvania, and Claymont, Delaware, among working class people who built this country.
It'd be funny if you listed
I
all the
watched
same
in
states.
horror as two of my heroes, like many of you did, Dr. King and Bobby Kennedy, were assassinated. And their legacies inspired me to pursue a career in service. I left the law firm, became a public defender because my city of Wilmington was the only city in America occupied by the National Guard
You said you spent years
after
teaching the Second Amendment.
Dr. King was assassinated because of the riots. And I became a county councilman almost by accident. I got elected to the United States Senate when I had no intention of running at age 29. Then vice president of our first black president. Now president to the first women vice president. In my career, I've been told I was too young. By the way, they didn't let me on the Senate elevators for votes sometimes.
What?
Not a joke.
Not a joke!
I've been told
we already did that
I'm
one.
too old. Whether young or old, I've always known what endures. I've known our North Star. The very idea of America is that we're all created equal and deserve to be treated equally throughout our lives. We've never fully lived up to that idea, but we've never walked away from it either. And I won't walk away from it now. I'm optimistic. I really am. I'm optimistic, Nancy. My fellow Americans, the issue facing our nation isn't how old we are, it's how old are our ideas. Hate, anger, revenge, retribution
He's
are the
literally
oldest
talking
of
about
ideas.
things he wrote when he was a
But
senator.
you can't lead America with ancient ideas. It'll only take us back. You lead America, the land of possibilities. You need a vision for the future and what can and should be done. Tonight you've heard mine. I see a future where defending democracy, you don't diminish it. I see a future where we restore the right to choose and protect our freedoms, not take them away. I see a future where the middle class finally has a fair shot and the wealthy have to pay their fair share in taxes. I see a future where we save the planet from the climate crisis and our country from gun violence. Above all, I see a future for all Americans. I see a country for all Americans. And I will always be president for all Americans.
He's never going to leave. He's a
Because I
dictator.
believe in America. I believe in you, the American people. You're the reason we've never been more optimistic about our future than I am now. So let's build the future together. Let's remember who we are. We are the United States of America. And there is nothing beyond our capacity when we act together. God bless you all, and may God protect our troops. Thank you.
Yeah! Last sentence was the best.
Yeah, it is. No joke. Anyway, let's see. How quickly will the response be? Alright. Well, that was hogwash. And infuriating.
Last year, I think I gave him a B minus.
Great.
This year, I think that's the worst State of the Union I've ever heard.
F?
It was terrible. It was such bull. Oh, we're not on the air, right? That was
Bullshit.
total bullshit. That was the most bullshit speech I think I've ever heard. It was terrible.
My cousin Vinny's his opening remarks.
I mean, the thing that's so frustrating about it, immigration. He didn't talk about it at all. He talked about passing a bill that processes people who are coming through the border into the country faster.
Yeah.
And a pathway to citizenship.
Yeah.
I'm hearing myself, so I'm slurring my words. The other thing is that he talks, if you're talking about going to the grocery store, and somebody commented in here, groceries cost 20% more when they go to the grocery store.
Yeah.
There's not anything, here, I'll put this in here, that they said that speaks to those people.
No, if you tuned into this tonight and you were not a political junkie, you were just... It was just more fluff. I don't think this did anything.
It was all gaslighting.
Yeah, it was.
He just basically said the opposite of everything that was supposed to be happening.
But the difference tonight is that it wasn't gaslighting and you're a Republican and you go, oh, that's just gaslighting. This is like the middle to middle left would hear a lot of this stuff and go, Rick, come on. Because it's so obvious, some of the stuff, especially the border stuff. I mean, that was the worst part of his speech as far as delivery, but the whole speech, even if it was delivered perfectly, was absolute bullshit.
Also, if you're trying to persuade people to vote for this guy and be like, yeah, he does understand what's going on. In his next 4 years, he knows how to fix the problems that are facing me. Like you said, this was like a political speech.
Yeah.
That goes to riling up probably your base, but isolating and alienating the rest of the country to say, I don't see you.
Yeah.
And part of that is that he just cannot inspire. Even if he had a better message, he just can't do it. He's not somebody who the average, viewer of TV and TikTok goes, I could see where he's coming from. He just can't do that. And the speech itself was terrible, so it wasn't just Joe Biden's delivery, but a good speaker can kind of motivate and make you believe some of that BS, and he can't. He just can't do it.
He did not have his words either.
No.
He
Even
spoke
from the
fast,
beginning.
and he had a lot of energy.
He
But
did
you
have
could
energy.
tell, like, his legs wanted to run faster than he could keep up with them.
Yep.
Like watching a little kid who learned how to
His
walk.
upper
There's still
body-
a lot of face planting.
Yeah.
His upper body was outrunning his lower body. He was skipping words, literally leaving words out of sentences.
And it's that kind of stuff. I wasn't even intending to really talk about his delivery much, but it is it is the story. It's bad. He can't. Even if he had good things to talk about, he can't do it well. And in this case, he had nothing to talk about, and so he couldn't kind of like spin. He can't do anything.
Yeah.
Wayne says, I'm so angry, I'm still shaking. Wayne, don't be angry. Just vote in November and find somebody to get registered and get them to vote too. A lot of people talking about Scooter. Scooter. Oh, here we go. I think
Response? Is it time? Excuse me.
what is that coming from?
What are you hearing?
Hold on a second. Do you hear cringe up here?
No.
Okay, maybe I'm
You got something else running.
yeah.
This will be interesting. This Katie
here we
Britt.
go.
I don't know much about her.
Is she Alabama?
New
Yes.
senator.
And because she's from the state that with the IVF stuff.
Yeah.
She's young. She's very pretty. Mom. I had, for people, if you've got your bingo card up, these are the ones that I marked off. January 6th, my father and my mother, because he talked about his dad. Here's the deal. Yells, which was basically 2/3 of the speech.
Yeah.
The middle section, middle square, socialism is free. Not a joke. Repeats himself. 5-second pause. Indiscriminate mumbling. Whispers. And coughing fit. Any that you had that I didn't?
I mean it.
Uh-huh.
Look.
Uh-huh.
And climate change.
Add climate change.
I didn't have those.
But I still didn't get a bingo.
I was missing one in 2 different places.
Russell said he got 4.
I think he was joking.
That's not a joke. It's not a joke.
Not a joke.
Not a joke! That's the big lie.
Yep, you're right, Delps. I needed Trump. I needed him to say Trump, and
He won't
just,
say it.
No, he just says my.
I'm surprised that he didn't. I thought he would. I would not have bet money that he didn't say Trump.
It's the old advertising rule. You can mention other brands, but you don't mention them by name.
He's still keyed up on whatever they gave him.
He was wearing off.
Yeah,
You could tell at about 45 minutes.
Bingo.
No, I didn't either. That speech really made me pretty mad. I hated it.
True, Christina. Point of order. He said climate change. Take it off.
Yeah, he didn't say crisis. He said climate change.
Climate change.
And
How many times did he slur predecessor?
seriously-
Everyone.
Seriously though, what does this do for the election?
This?
What percentage of voting Americans watch this tonight? Like Jimmy Fallon said, big night for Netflix and Hulu.
Yeah.
15.
Of voting Americans?
Yeah, 15%. I think there's way more voters than there are people who are actually plugged in and nerds like we are.
Well, we've got more dangerous criminals.
Yeah, I don't think this does anything.
No.
If anything, the worst of the speech makes it online and makes him look worse. So I don't think it does anything at best for him.
I think if you're Team Trump, I think you cut some of the bullcrap lies that he says, and then you make ads with
You
the
want to throw
stats.
to Ryan for the word?
Yeah, I think if you're Team Trump, you cut some of the
The
Bullshit.
lies that he says, and say, here's why this is.
Bullshit.
Hey, easy. Children are watching. Like my kids are probably all laying in bed with Jared right now watching this on their phone.
Watching Ryan and his
Deeply
filthy
sorry.
mouth.
Yeah. But they need to know. Don't think they're growing up in this household and I'm smoothing it over.
What everybody needs to know,
That
not
lady
just the
dressed as
kids,
Ukraine for
is
the
that
State
I
of the Union.
rarely ever cuss.
And she's
He
flipping
does,
you off,
like
Ryan.
literally, Ryan does not. I don't hear Ryan or Brad ever cuss really. I cuss the most.
Ryan cusses a lot.
That is not true.
Stacy, you can mark climate. We said you could have the
Oh,
climate
for sure.
one. We're counting it. Mark it. Bologna sausage. That's right, Greg. That's what my mom says around my children.
I think I'm going to try to come up with my own acronym, like bull sperm.
Delps.
You're so weird. Why would you say that?
Well, that's cleaner.
I'd prefer the other one. Gosh.
Russell says he needs a T-shirt, and Delp says his kids are running around yelling it.
No.
No, don't do that.
Just make
Now
sure
I
that
really
they
do feel
understand it's
bad.
in the conjunction of Joe Biden's.
Yeah, just link it to Joe Biden. Let your kids tell the truth.
What's Katie Britt waiting for? She got to be fashionably late too.
Any minute now, Katie. Any minute.
They need to cut to the door, see if she comes out of it.
Yeah. I'm waiting for Biden to get out of the way so I can go up on there at that podium and make my speech.
Mark said, "I'd eat some bologna sausage. Sounds good with an egg. Does that sound good?" Ryan,
Bologna and egg.
Wait, say it again?
bologna sausage and egg.
Well, that doesn't sound bad. I don't really like bologna,
I
but
think everyone's out of there. Katie Britt, come on.
oh, Alan.
Exactly. Well, come down here and talk to Uncle Ryan. Uncle Rai gonna teach you a lesson.
Alan, tell him it's a type of whale.
Yeah, exactly.
Type of whale.
It is.
Yeah.
Why don't you pull up Truth Social and see what Trump's saying?
I did in the middle of the speech.
Here,
he
I
was
can-
saying a lot.
Can you share it? I'm sharing the Katie Britt thing.
At one point, the last time I checked, it just said, "He's so angry and crazy." And he's got, oh man, he's tweeting pictures of Biden and Kamala Harris with like giant eyes looking nuts. Okay, last one Trump said. Whether the fake news media likes admitting it or not, there was tremendous misrepresentation and lies in that speech. But the people of our country get it, and they know that November 5th will be the most important day in our nation's history.
Are you muted? God bless you.
Thank you.
On the StreamYard?
Yeah. He's
Is he
muted on
muted?
my screen.
Okay. So there's an echo.
I think you guys are picking up Ryan's
My
headphones.
Because he took
headphones,
it out.
because they're so loud.
Here, let me see.
Here, I'll just put them down here.
There should be a scroll on
Yeah,
the
on the
quiet.
cord, that little block on the cord has
Those are
a
headphones that my brother gave us for Christmas so
On
that
the
we
cord.
could play Fortnite with our kids.
There, that has a volume scroll on the side.
And a mute. But I don't think you need a mute.
There.
Yeah. Post-speech fact checker Chris is on the lower right of our screen. We're waiting for her to come in.
Having lost children myself, I understand.
Okay, Danny, your thoughts on all
All right, so one, he was prepared for that moment. He knew it was coming, right? He got the name a little bit wrong.
Is Tucker Carlson having trouble on Rumble?
He did. He got that girl's name wrong.
Didn't you say Lincoln?
He did say Lincoln.
He's holding a button that says Lakin.
Yeah.
And he said Lincoln.
That's probably the first time, like, as he's going on, here's the button. Her name is Lakin.
Kevin,
God.
what did that guy yell? Brent commented earlier that he was yelling about Abbey Gate, and I'm pretty sure that there was a family there that Biden has never called.
Yeah.
That died in Afghanistan at Abbey Gate. So I think that that's what it was about.
I love that he opened the speech with Mr. Gorbachev, tear down that wall.
He's like, work the first time,
Yeah.
and I'm going to see what I can do with this one.
And then he closes the speech, is like, it's not about old ideas.
Yeah, exactly.
It's about new ideas.
And then he goes,
I've been a senator since I was 29, and I'm 600 million years
that
old
was
now.
confusing. Because you kind of know what he's trying to get to.
Yeah.
That was a moment that I was like, what are you doing? What are you saying?
Delps, I agree with you. I loved it when Tucker... I cleared my schedule at some point in the night, and I watch Tucker every night on Fox, and I miss him. I try to take him in on... I just... It's not been quite the same on X,
No.
but...
It's a different...
I think he's important.
Yeah, it's a different format. I think it's the format that makes it awkward for me.
I want to see Katie, whatever her name is, Britt, come out
That's Senator Britt to you.
and take that speech and go, I can't say what I was going to say. I got to speak from the heart.
Yeah.
And then she pulls out a different speech.
And then, yeah.
He's coughing on his hand. He's touching people. His hair, the back of his head and his hair looks like a wax figure.
I like it.
Joe Biden's?
Yeah, you should go for that look.
I'm going to. When I get just a little bit older.
Back of his head looks like a guy who has his head on a pillow a lot.
Like a soft skull, like a baby.
Yeah.
If
You know how it's like it'll wear their hair thin in the back? And
Mark says he feels sick after that speech. He truly hates half of the USA. Mark?
it's more than half.
Does Mark, you like Trump, right? Mark likes Trump, right?
Mark's conservative. I don't know if he's a big Trump fan.
Is he not like Trump?
I think
Mark,
he was,
do you like
I
Trump?
think he was Team DeSantis, but I don't know if he was Team DeSantis never Trump or Team DeSantis better than Trump.
It's got to be Trump.
Oh, he says absolutely in all caps.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I'm thinking of somebody else.
Trump 2024.
Back of his head reminds me of Walter. Yes, Wolf. I was thinking that too.
Is this still
Look
live?
at all of these old.
It's the same. He's doing the same
old
couple
people.
things.
Look at his eyes. What's going on? Does he have eyeballs?
I think he has things where there used to be eyeballs.
There's three big issues that he had to answer: his age, the border, and the economy. I think he only did one on the economy. I think when it came to age, he tried to show.
I'll tell you who I agree with. Gary Thomas.
Who's Gary Thomas?
In the chat.
Oh, I was like, is this your neighbor or something?
No.
Gary
Well, thank
Thomas?
you, Gary. We appreciate
I've heard you guys
that.
for a few years on air, but I've never seen you, and you are all good looking. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
oh, Gary, you're good looking too. Ryan kept talking
Give it
about
to him,
it.
Ryan.
Mm-hmm. All day off air. You didn't
Ryan,
hear this.
Ryan, give him the smolder.
But I was like, you ever seen that Gary Thomas?
Ryan, do you have a smolder?
What does that mean?
He's so nervous. That's a no.
I guess Ryan has to go home and watch Tangled now.
A smolder?
He goes, all right.
Jay Booker says,
Here
Annie,
comes
I
the
watched
smolder."
the Disney, the American Presidents, and Trump was absolutely changed from a Hillary animatronic. Do you know that for sure? That is a rumor, an urban legend, and very funny.
I remember when it came out, they had some angles where I was like, oh,
I'm not even
but I
mad
haven't
if it
seen it in
was.
person.
Can you imagine having to go, like, the sadness of losing, then be like, we have to change the animatronic?
Son of a...
We can all see Joe Biden's weakness.
Oh, it's the MAGA ad.
Have you seen this?
Yeah, just
No,
here.
Brad. Can Biden survive to 2028? 2029? Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
That's brutal.
Dude.
It's real though.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's the questions everybody's asking. Can this guy make it?
And because of TikTok, we're able to show people from all over the world where their food.
Come on, Republican response. Where you at? Can you check on Twitter and see if there's any like details on? Oh man. Olaf
Yeah,
does a
usually you
better
want to
survey.
get the response like right
pen. I was joking.
The pen with Lake and Riley's name.
Pin.
MTG gave him that.
That's why he said say. Think.
Says this is like a shouting match. Every line is being shouted.
Is she saying Lakin? And then he went and said it wrong anyway?
She gave him the button.
Yeah.
Wow.
I've got her phone number on my computer. I'm gonna text her.
Oh, hey, here we are. Oh, they're counting her down.
Okay.
We gotta unmute you.
Here we go.
Good evening, America. My name is Brett, and I have the honor of serving the people of the great state of Alabama in the United States.
Annie, unmuted on your stream.
Way, or why I ran for the Senate.
Sorry.
I'm worried about their future
Is that better?
and the future of children in every corner of our nation. And that's why I invited you into our home tonight. Like so many families across America, my husband Wesley and I just watched President Biden's State of the Union address from our living room. And what we saw was the performance of a permanent politician who has actually been in office for longer than I've been alive. One thing was quite clear, though. President Biden just doesn't get it. He's out of touch. Under his administration, families are worse off, our communities are less safe, and our country is less secure. I just wish he understood what real families are facing around kitchen tables just like this one. You know, this is where our family has tough conversations. It's where we make hard decisions. It's where we share the good, the bad, and the ugly of our days. It's where we laugh together, and it's where we hold each other's hands and pray for God's guidance. And many nights, to be honest, it's where Wesley and I worry. I know we're not alone. And so tonight, the American family needs to have a tough conversation, because the truth is, we're all worried about the future of our nation. The country we know and love seems to be slipping away, and it feels like the next generation will have fewer opportunities and less freedoms than we did. I worry my own children may not even get a shot at living their American dreams. My American dream allowed me, the daughter of two small business owners from rural Enterprise, Alabama, to be elected to the United States Senate at the age of 40. Growing up, sweeping the floor at my dad's hardware store and cleaning the bathroom at my mom's dance studio, I never could have imagined what my story would entail. To think about what the American dream can do across just one generation, in just one lifetime. It's truly breathtaking. But right now, the American dream has turned into a nightmare for so many families. The true, unvarnished state of our union begins and ends with this. Our families are hurting. Our country can do better. And you don't have to look any further than the crisis at our southern border to see it. President Biden inherited the most secure border of all time. But minutes after taking office, he suspended all deportations, he halted construction of the border wall, and he announced a plan to give amnesty to millions. We know that President Biden didn't just create this border crisis, he invited it with 94 executive actions in his first 100 days. When I took office, I took a different approach. I traveled to the Del Rio sector of Texas. That's where I spoke to a woman who shared her story with me. She had been sex trafficked by the cartels starting at the age of 12. She told me not just that she was raped every day, but how many times a day she was raped. The cartels put her on a mattress in a shoebox of a room, and they sent men through that door over and over again for hours and hours on end. We wouldn't be okay with this happening in a third world country. This is the United States of America, and it is past time, in my opinion, that we start acting like it. President Biden's border policies are a disgrace. This crisis is despicable. And the truth is, it is almost entirely preventable. From fentanyl poisonings to horrific murders, there are empty chairs tonight at kitchen tables just like this one because of President Biden's senseless border policies. Just think about Laken Riley. In my neighboring state of Georgia, this beautiful 22-year-old nursing student went out on a jog one morning, but she never got the opportunity to return home. She was brutally murdered by one of the millions of illegal border crossers President Biden chose to release into our homeland. Y'all, as a mom, I can't quit thinking about this. I mean, this could have been my daughter. This could have been yours. And tonight, President Biden finally said her name. But he refused to take responsibility for his own actions. Mr. President, enough is enough. Innocent Americans are dying, and you only have yourself to blame. Fulfill your oath of office. Reverse your policies. End this crisis and stop the suffering. Sadly, we know that President Biden's failures don't stop there. His reckless spending dug our economy into a hole and sent the cost of living through the roof. We have the worst inflation in 40 years and the highest credit card debt in our nation's history. Let that sink in. Hardworking families are struggling to make ends meet today, and with soaring mortgage rates and sky-high childcare costs, they're also struggling to how to plan for tomorrow. The American people are scraping by, while President Biden proudly proclaims that Bidenomics is working. Goodness, y'all, bless his heart, we know better. I'll never forget stopping at a gas station in Chilton County one evening. The gentleman working the counter told me that after retiring, he had to pick up a job in his 70s so that he didn't have to choose between going hungry or going without his medication. He said, I did everything right. I did everything I was told to do. I worked hard, I saved, I was responsible. He's not alone. I hear similar concerns from fellow parents, whether I am walking with my friends or whether I'm at my kids' games. But let's be honest, it's been a minute since Joe Biden pumped gas, ran a carpool, or even pushed a grocery cart. Meanwhile, the rest of us see our dollar and we know it doesn't go as far. We see it every day. And despite what he tells you, our communities are not safer. For years, the left has coddled criminals and defunded the police, all while letting repeat offenders walk free. The result is tragic, but foreseeable. From our small towns to America's most iconic city streets, life is getting more and more dangerous. And unfortunately, President Biden's weakness isn't just hurting families here at home. He is making us a punchline on the world stage.
He's not going to handle this well.
Look, where I'm from,
not gonna handle this
your
well.
word is your bond. But for 3 years, the president has demonstrated that America's word doesn't mean what it used to.
They're going
From
for the suburban woman.
abandoning our
vote.
allies in his disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan.
Swing and a miss.
Desperately pushing another dangerous deal with Iran. President Biden has failed. We've become a nation in retreat.
She's either going to
And the
cry or kill
enemies
somebody.
of freedom,
Or maybe
they
both.
see an opportunity. Putin's brutal aggression in Europe has put our allies on the brink. Iran's terrorist proxies have slaughtered
Wouldn't it have been cool if Joe
Israeli,
Biden would have given a
Jews,
speech with this
and
tone?
American citizens. They've targeted commercial shipping,
The
and they've
trouble
attacked
is,
our troops
the story is
nearly
now going to be
200
her
times
instead
since
of how
October,
bad Biden was.
killing 3 U.S. soldiers and 2 Navy SEALs.
Jay Booker says, I'm a suburban mom. I don't talk
Meanwhile,
like this.
The Chinese Communist Party is undercutting America's workers.
The tone is not
China
doing
is
it for me,
buying
folks.
up our
I,
farmland,
I like what she's saying.
spying on our military
The tone
installations,
is
and spreading
not
propaganda through the likes of TikTok.
It for me.
You see, the CCP knows that if it conquers the minds of our next generation, it conquers America. And what does President Biden do? Well, he bans TikTok for government
Scooter's still talking about
employees,
mom's
but
delivery. Let's actually start doing a
creates an
drinking game.
account
None of us
for
really
his own
drink, but let's
campaign.
do it for that.
Y'all, you can't make this stuff up. Look, we all recall when presidents faced
Sarah Huckabee
national
did such
security
a great
threats.
She was
job last
great.
time. She was
And
so
this
good.
She's about as good as you could do.
She should have done it again.
Seems like ancient history.
Ancient,
Right
ancient,
now,
ancient,
our
ancient.
commander-in-chief
Ancient.
is
Ancient?
not
No,
in command.
there's
The
no
free
K.
world deserves
You're saying that
better
you trust
than a
that
dithering
she is
and
getting it
diminished
correct.
Yeah,
leader.
she's gonna take your job.
America
Okay.
deserves leaders who recognize that secure
I'm not really
borders,
emotional
stable
enough.
prices,
So
safe streets, and a strong defense are actually
she's gonna be a
the
diversity hire for the
cornerstones
show.
of a great nation.
Every day she's going to start
Ask
with,
yourself,
hey,
are you
just
better
wanted to
off now
invite you into
than you
my
were
kitchen.
3 years ago?
Oh, this is my studio.
There's no doubt we're at a crossroads, and it doesn't have to be this
That
way.
would be so awesome. Just like an arm reaching in, filling up the bottle.
Here's the good news.
And he's in the background. He's going like this.
Still,
Yeah. Whoops. Oh, sorry.
we get
I
to
didn't know we were
decide
live.
whether our future will grow brighter
I want to play
or
Fortnite and
whether
shoot
we'll
things.
settle for America in decline. Well, I know which choice our children deserve, and I know the choice the Republican Party is fighting for. We are the party of hard-working parents and families, and we want to give you and your children the opportunities to thrive. And
Thank you,
we
Dan.
want families
Love
to
you back.
grow. It's why we strongly support continued nationwide access to in vitro fertilization. We want to help loving moms and dads bring precious life into this world. Wesley and I believe there is no greater blessing in life than our children. And that's why tonight I want to make a direct appeal to the parents out there. And in particular to my fellow moms, many of whom I know will be up, tossing and turning at 2 a.m., wondering how you're going to be in 3 places at once and then somehow still get dinner on the table.
Just make the man do it.
What is a man?
We hear you, and we stand.
Oh man, could you imagine Tim Scott?
Please don't whisper.
I know. You're frustrated.
Yeah,
I
frustrated.
know you're probably disgusted
Dan
by
Barlow.
most of what you see going on in Washington, and I'll be really honest with you. You're not wrong for feeling that way. Look, I get it. The task in front of us isn't an easy one, but I can promise you one thing. It is worth it. So I am
so
asking
true.
you for the sake of
Hey, I'm donating if she asks.
Yeah.
I'm there for the
get
puppies.
into the arena. Every generation has been called to do hard things.
Win red.
American greatness.
I think that when we've got MSNBC on the screen here instead of Fox right now, just because we're gonna see what happens next.
Yeah.
They are gonna be
entertaining.
like this.
Yeah.
Go to break.
And they won't be wrong, though. This might be one time I might agree with
Overthrew the
MSNBC.
most powerful empire in the world. We walk.
I love how
in the
we're
footsteps
criticizing it,
of
and Scooter's like,
pioneers.
it's pretty good.
This is your chance, man.
It's a quad Eric demonstratum.
We continue to draw courage from those who bent the moral arc of the universe. And when we gaze upon the heavens, never forget that our DNA
Gaze upon the
contains
heavens.
same
People are gonna hear that
ingenuity
differently.
that man on the moon. America has been tested before. And
I really want Marco Rubio to go in that kitchen so bad right now.
emerged unbowed and
Have a little sippy
unbroken.
sip.
With a little like "Make America
Our
Great Again" hat, and just be
history
like, just remember.
has been written with the grit of men and women.
Yeah, he
who
could walk back there right now and be like,
down.
look, you guys made fun of me.
But
Yeah.
you know their strength because they did
That's me,
not
it.
stay down
Marco Rubio
We
sits
are
in a gigantic
here.
chair.
because they
Clown.
stood back.
Get the Sarah McLachlan music out of my head.
And now it's our turn, our moment to stand up and prove ourselves worthy of protecting the American dream. Together, we can reawaken the heroic spirit.
I wanted to run through a brick wall when Sarah Huckabee Sanders
Yeah.
was done last
Because
year. I was like,
America-
let's freaking go.
We don't just have.
I just want to run
arrived
into a
at
brick wall right now.
Just until the noise stops.
You don't need to cut this sound for tomorrow. Just
Our
Okay, I was gonna
pretend
say,
this didn't happen.
I was sitting here, I was just thinking that. It's like, man, last year I remember
No, we're saying all we
combing
need to
through
say right
Sarah
now.
Sanders'
with
speech.
moms and dads.
Don't worry, there's going to be plenty of this on Twitter.
Wavy says this is a rebrutal.
Despite the current state of our union,
Oh, your mom's chiming in.
our best days are still ahead. May God bless you, and may God continue to bless these United States of America.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh, the long, awkward. When are you gonna turn me off the
Uh-oh.
camera?
She's staring? Or is
Yes,
that is it
she
frozen?
held that non-blink
Ah,
for
okay.
quite some time. Okay.
This is like,
This is gonna be okay. We're gonna end this live stream. We got 400 people still on here, which is so cool. Oh my gosh, I gotta see.
Alabama Republican U.S. Senator speaking from Montgomery. A very long response in terms of the Republican response.
Rachel Maddow.
I should say, just as a matter of context here, I think Alabama's been on everybody's mind in terms of the debate around reproductive rights, in particular because of the.
They're handling it okay so far.
Yeah, they're not doing much.
On IVF, Senator Britt ran as a strongly anti-abortion rights candidate, so that does sort of implicitly spotlight that issue. Obviously, the most, I would say, the portion of her response that took up the most word count, at least.
I think she's so
They don't know what to do.
bent that they don't know how to handle it.
She was one of the U.S. senators who was involved in the bipartisan negotiations.
She is gonna be an SNL skit.
Oh, yeah.
And she helped create the bill and then voted against it when Donald Trump called on Republicans to pull the plug on the bill that they themselves had negotiated. We have a little piece of sound from President Biden's remarks tonight that got a very interesting response in the room.
Every hot conservative woman has that same necklace. Are you talking about Katie Britt or Rachel Maddow? Rachel Maddow.
Because that's a microphone.
Yeah. Oh, man. All right. We can wrap this up here because we are going to have tons of coverage tomorrow, of course, on 97.1.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, grade the speech, Brad.
See? Like, it had lots of energy,
Is that
but
yes
it was
in
only
Spanish?
like halfway there. And then it was just like, as far as substance goes,
You're doing what they did last year, which is they're like, look, he finished the speech. Good job, buddy.
Yeah.
Here's a cookie.
But I don't know
Ice
that he
cream.
did. I think he skipped about a third of the words.
That's true. Went right over them.
So.
Grade?
F.
F
Awful.
and BS.
FBS.
FBS. Yeah, I'm going to second that.
It was terrible. There was no sense in which that was good, other than I guess you could say he wasn't dead. Like, he had a little bit of energy. Well, he had a lot of energy, actually. It made him blow through half of the speech.
Wolf says C minus. Let's see here. Show Tell Tech says, really, I'll give it a D minus. That's only because he made it to the end. Dawn F. Vicky, our friend Vicky, F minus. B Man says F. Energy was drug induced. Seriously, I wish that there was a way. I wish that it was the American people's business to know the medicines that he's
Like
taking.
blood test.
Well, does he need to be juiced up in order to behave? We know that that's not his normal self.
No, that's not his default self.
And I will be curious to see, maybe he'll have a full schedule tomorrow and the days to come, because he's had a very empty schedule leading up to this. How long does he need to recover from this?
It's a good question.
I will tell you this. If I'm doing a big event and I have to speak or I have to MC and I do it on the same day that I have a show, I am mentally wiped. When it's done. Like, I come home, it's not that I want to, like, lay down and sleep so much, but this is the chair that I will come sit in. I'm sitting in my chair. I will sit here, and, like, the kids will come ask me questions, and I don't even know the answer. And the answer is, like, where's the milk? I'm like, in the closet, I don't know. But, I mean, I will do, if I have a full day work.
Hey, Ryan Reynolds here. Big Wireless has once again raised their prices.
Or whatever it might be. I am zapped. So what's he like? Especially if you gotta come up for medications, don't you have to come down?
You crash.
Oh yeah, he's got to come way down. I doubt he'll do a whole lot in the next few days. And just for context too, I gave him an F, and I gave him a B last year. So I'm not just coming at this and being like, well,
so
he does terrible. All
your F is based on, like, what criteria?
The content of the speech was terrible.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
It was bad across the board. And it was a repeat speech in a lot of senses of stuff that he's said in the past. We're going to do this. Well, where was it? And then you just say it again. Like the cancer stuff, the junk fees for hotels, these random things that he just brings up. That you're like, what is that?
The Snickers bar line. It's like you're like getting 10% less Snicker bars.
At least that one was a new one this year.
Yeah.
But
Nat Turner says I'll give him a B. Houston said the C minus is only because the expectations were so low. Jeanette says D minus. Wayne says, Annie, are you okay? And he says, I am not okay. Scooter, A plus, no question.
yeah, absolutely.
Gosh, Scooter, you are so
Consistent.
good for my
Good
algorithm. And I love you for it. You are a dedicated listener, and I won't call you fan. I don't know if you're a fan. You might consider you're a fan, but if you're a fan, I haven't quite figured out what you get out of this, but I appreciate you for being here. Dan says F minus. D minus, he spelled his name right. Tony, how do you know?
He did not say Lakin's name right, though.
No.
And he had that on a pin.
So,
in front of his eyeballs. He had
he
it
was
right
holding
here.
it.
He even looked at it.
that pin was given to him by Marjorie Taylor Greene when he was walking in. That's what she was yelling at him about. And gave him the pin, and she said her name is Lakin Riley.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'll say her name. She's like, say her name, Mr. President. And he got up there and screwed it up.
Stacy says D. I actually like how he defended Israel for a second, but that's it. That's what I said that on the air today, or whatever it was, that like name something good that the president has done, and I said that he has adhered to our ally relationship with Israel in action, but in word he's waned, and he's trying to play at both sides for his politics, and I don't think he's going to get away with it.
No.
The one thing I was maybe going to say today that he actually did bring up in this speech that I would say I'm okay with that is the amount of, and they use the term investment. I hate that word when it's government money, but they are investing in a sense in American chip manufacturing. And we
got to bring everything back here.
There's a lot to be said about that, but
Vicky says, trust the 70s girl. That was so drug-induced. I don't get what that means. I'm an 80s girl.
She grew up in the 70s.
Thanks, Red.
We don't know.
I don't know what she's
We
talking
don't know
about.
drugs. We don't know cussing.
I don't know anything about the 70s and drugs or Ryan's foul mouth.
No, I don't know anything about any of that.
Wolf said, I thought we were rating her speech. This was an F.
We were.
Is it going to rain tomorrow? Jack says tomorrow will be another great Friday, even if it's a little rainy.
Yep.
Yeah.
I kind of like it when it's rainy and we're in the studio because I don't want to be outside then.
Yeah, especially in the spring.
We have
X's and O's?
X's and O's.
Yeah, Hancock and Kelly.
Really?
Yeah.
Hancock. It's gonna be very political. It's gonna be like a political nerd.
Don't embarrass the family. Don't make us look stupid in front of Hancock and Kelly.
No. Don't worry.
I don't think I've ever
invented
had Kelly on the show when I've been there.
No,
because
he's
you guys
been
have
when
had
you
him
were
in when
out.
Hancock
Yeah.
hosts it for me, right?
Yeah, he calls him. He's like, "Hey, what you doing, buddy?" And brings him in.
Patrick says F. Let's see here. Scooter wants to remind everybody that there were lots of drugs in the Trump White House.
When did they do the investigation for the cocaine found in the Trump White House?
Did you see that report lately that there were a lot of people on like Xanax, or not Xanax? What's the one that starts with P?
Prilosec.
No, that's for acid reflux. Prozac. And Kat Timp was saying on Gutfeld, she goes, everybody in Washington, D.C. is on Prozac. It's like, your White House has cocaine. Oh, man. Johnson's face and head nodding was priceless. I saw someone else comment that they appreciated our stream because they're watching replays now and they can now see Kamala's face, and they're not happy.
Johnson's face was good, though.
Yeah.
The stream we had cut that off a little bit.
Edward says Andy can never say the resident libs don't help the chat grow at least. That is for sure, Edward. And Edward, you are one of the good ones. We appreciate you. Take common sense. Let's see. Wavy gives him a P for pandering.
That's true. A lot of that speech was aimed at Michigan, a little bit of Pennsylvania.
D's nuts for you, says a great shirt, Annie. It's a sentence I've never said in my life.
Yep.
But here we are. This is this shirt I actually got in New York City when I went and collected my Gracie Award.
Ooh, yeah.
I had to mention it once tonight.
That's neat.
He just wants a Gracie.
We're all proud.
He just wants a Gracie.
Yeah, if I don't win a Gracie before the end of this thing,
you should compete for one. You should submit.
The station has to submit that, and I don't think they're going to do it. I think they're going to mostly support you.
You have to
identify as a woman and dare them to not give it to you.
You have to edit things and put them together.
I put together your Gracie submissions.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't even hear them. I don't even know what you send off.
I don't want you to hear them.
Why?
Because I think when I get done, I'm like, that's perfect. Go.
You're submitting my stuff.
That cannot be improved on.
Ryan, you and I sometimes have different opinions on things.
I understand that. That's why I don't want to hear your opinion.
He doesn't even let me hear him.
This is a management thing.
2.5. Last year was the honorable mention one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We should air that sometime.
We're expecting a big W this year.
Are we? Did you submit it for you or for me?
I don't even remember. We submit so many things. I don't even remember who submitted that one yet.
Oh, man. Well, I'm going to wrap it up, you guys. Thank you so much. We've got 391 people still on here, on our platforms across the board here. And we missed Leah tonight. Leah had to work at the gym where she works out at and works at. So we missed her. We'll get her out here next time. Pray that there's going to be a debate. Because if there's a debate, we might have to have 2 bingos at one time. A Trump bingo and a Biden bingo.
Yeah.
And we need a sponsor on it.
Yeah.
So we can promote it ahead of time and get logos and stuff on them. I think that'd be fun. So thank you so much, everybody. If you're here and you haven't subscribed to the Anti-Fry YouTube channel, would you please subscribe? And I'm just gonna blatantly ask you to just subscribe with all of your Google accounts.
Yes. Yeah.
And give the video a thumbs up, and that helps us reach more people. And if you are new to the Anti-Fry Show, if you found us one way or the other, if you've been watching us on Twitter or Facebook or even Twitch. Do we have anybody watching on Twitch right now? Yeah, we got one person. Hi.
Hi. Who is it? Say hi.
If you're watching us there, we stream our show every day, noon to 3 p.m. Central on all of these platforms, but the main conversation happens on YouTube. And we like to cover the news, but we like to have fun with it, and we try not to get too bent out of shape about things, but still be in the middle of the know. And tomorrow, Friday, is always a fun show for us. So thank you, guys. Thank you for coming over.
Yeah. Thanks for inviting us.
Tomorrow's going to be fun. See you guys tomorrow.
Yeah.
It was outstanding.
Wingstop was delicious. I'm probably going to eat some more after we get done here because I was working on setting stuff up here. So thanks, guys. Make America great again. Donald Trump, 2020.